shit, I have to log in. Okay, hold on a second.
It's alright. We're live on all three of them though, and
Okay.
we're gonna be streaming for not too long because I have to eat dinner. We got newborns.
Yeah,
Newborns.
congratulations, man. That was awesome. Like as soon as
Yeah,
I found out, like I was like walking through like Madrid, and I was like, oh shit,
that's cool.
I have a kid.
That's real cool. You're a
Yeah,
real cool guy with doing real cool stuff.
yeah,
Um,
man. For sure.
um,
Okay, so there's there. There's
so
the
Kaylin's right now logging in on all the different because usually we'll have like Mike or John hanging out, but they're all doing stuff with their real lives apparently,
on.
right? So I think um,
Alright,
Mike's out
I'm
skating, and then
lane.
John's out volleyballing.
Yeah, spike on him. Spike on him.
Yeah, and then I'm here with you streaming. But you're just doing some like 360 painting stuff, which is cool to hear
Yeah, I'm
about.
trying to harness my inner Jama. Wait, is it on your page, your Facebook page? I don't see it.
My well, let me double check to see if I actually did it.
Oh, never mind. I see it
Yeah,
now.
it should be on my regular profile. I don't stream on my page anymore.
Okay, gotcha. We are good to go.
All
So yeah,
right,
how was the birth of your child?
this is good. He's just premature, so we're still dealing with him being tiny. But he's
Okay,
doing all right. He's a healthy little tiny baby.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Good to hear.
yeah. I like a lot of people were just wondering if I was going to go travel to Croatia, in Spain. Not too many people in Spain, but I think because most people just knew that I wasn't going. But Croatia, they were just like, "Hey, you coming, dude?" And I was just like, "Nah," because I'm gonna have a baby and have to stay nearby. What?
Should have brought her, man. You could have had her born in different countries, like put her like on like the cusp of like two countries.
Yeah, so we're not doing that. And so yeah, the baby was born though. It was fine. Um, it's funny because when Julian was born, I was in Italy at the time, and I like the day that I arrived, Bea went into
Really?
labor. hmm
Oh, I didn't
And
know that.
like
I
the
thought
day
you.
that I came back, not the day I was in Italy. So like
Oh,
I almost missed it. Is what I'm trying to say.
oh, okay. They came back. Okay, I was like, what?
Yeah, I almost missed his birth, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna
Wait, if
do
you
that
give birth
again.
on a plane, how does that work then?
Well,
Is it just where you're going to?
no, you can't go. You can't go on a plane if you're X amount of months pregnant.
Oh, really?
I'm saying that she was. I didn't give birth to the baby, Kaylin. If you weren't sure who gives
No,
birth.
no, no. I'm saying that. I'm saying like if you're pregnant, let's say you have a
Yeah.
what comes early, and you're like mid Atlantic,
No. Yeah.
like what?
Your suspicions are right. Like, no, you can't go on a.
Okay.
You can't go if you're X months
Like what
pregnant.
nationality is he at that point? He is transatlantic.
Yeah. No. Like he was back home. He was fine.
Okay.
Um.
Interesting.
It is interesting. So what I'm trying to get at though is that I just didn't want to miss it. Although I was happy to see you guys had a great time and everything looked like it turned out great. Um,
Oh yeah.
that's all I really cared about anyway. I was just was like, but I was never worried to be honest. Like I wasn't even stressing. I was like they're gonna do fine, and
No,
you guys totally did fine.
yeah, it was really good. Well, I mean, it was a little bit nervous because I figured, it's like the second one, so people had a lot of expectations. I think because the
Uh
first
huh.
one was so positive, and then once Danny had his unfortunate teeth problem the day
Oh,
of.
dude, I didn't even know what was going on with that. What happened?
Oh, so that was yeah.
I know
So
that he like I saw a picture of him like having his teeth all jacked, but I
yeah,
didn't know
so
what
the
happened.
so the day before he was like, dude, my face is swelling. And I was like, what?
Dude,
And
not
he's like, well,
again.
I think I might have something in my teeth. And I was like, all right, well, just keep me updated. So the day of we're getting ready to leave. And he's like, I'm gonna go to the hospital. I'm like, dude, you should go to the dentist. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go to the hospital. So I went to like urgent care or whatever, and I guess they were like, "Oh, it's inflamed, but we can't cut it." So I guess he had this problem before, and I
Yes,
was
he
like,
did.
"Bro, you
As
should."
create the first creative juice, he did.
Exactly. So I was like, "You haven't taken care of this?" And he's like, like I'm kind of busy." So then at first he was like, fuck, I really want to go to Spain. So I'm thinking about just like, getting some antibiotics and just, toughing it out. And I was like, all right, but at the same time, you should choose life and you should just make sure you go see a doctor, like go see a dentist first. And then let's kind of just make sure. Cause I don't want you, I'm like, I want you to come because it's going to
Uh-huh.
be fun. It's awesome. But at the same time, like, he felt really bad because he was like, shit, they pay for my flight, they pay for my hotel. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't do them any good if you get there and you die. Right. At the same time, I'm like, dentist is like free here, cheap dental care.
You know what? That's actually a good argument because when I was in Croatia, I thought I broke my oh, my baby's here. I thought I broke my collarbone, and I was afraid to go to the doctor because I was like, oh, I don't want to have to pay out for all these like extra fees or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, it's fine. You're good. I think I ended up paying upwards of like $60 for the like X-rays, them giving me uh, a sling for my arm, the whole experience. Yeah, just like everything was like super cheap, and I
Yep.
was like, what the? So anyway, continue.
Yeah, so like we were kind of like half joking. I was like, "Yo, you can get dental work here and get that shit mad cheap." So then I was like, "Listen, before you do anything, like I want you to come, but at the same time, like we we shouldn't play around with this because I've seen it happen. It happened to someone at AI one time. I'll talk about that later. But this goes to anyone. Get dental insurance and go to the dentist. So he goes to the dentist, and pretty much the doctor was like, yeah, you need to have that tooth taken out. But not only that, you need 3 other teeth taken out or you're going to die. And so then he's like, how long have you been ignoring this? And he's like, yeah, for a bit. He's like, yeah, these should have came out like yesterday. So then the guy had to like cancel his stuff and had to prep him for emergency surgery for like the next day.
Oh, that's
Otherwise, like
crazy.
shit would have went bad. So he literally was like, hey guys, like if I don't do this, I'm gonna die. And I was like, yeah, choose life. So it kind of sucked in that regard. He didn't get to come, but on the bright side, I did have extra space on my 10-hour flight. So there's like an extra seat missing. So I got to lay out. Meanwhile,
Uh-huh.
Alex and Jamar and Keisha on the other side just kind of squished in. It's like, hell yeah. But yeah, but overall, I mean, Spanish people are awesome. Like it was so much fun. They're all so kind and so nice. Like I forget how like nice people are sometimes when I go to Spain. And like we had such a great time that I feel like all my other artist friends or like all the other art people are like hitting me up. They're like, "Yo, can I go next year?" Just because the reputation precedes them of how well they were treating their artists, like in terms of like being professional, being organized.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I've never tried so hard to pay for a meal when they wouldn't let me. They were like, "No, you're not
yeah.
paying for
That's
a
how
meal."
they were there last year.
Yeah, and this year it was bigger just because you so remember the venue in Barcelona? It
Uh
was kind
huh.
of like maybe like 3/4 of the way full. This
Uh-huh.
year it was like full. So
So even next time it's gonna be even
even
crazier.
yeah, but not even that though. We had the Madrid one, and then
Oh,
Madrid
that's
was like
true.
full too. So it was actually like really tiring because it was almost 5 days of just straight like networking, working and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
we
they were
did
kind of
that.
like,
We did that last year. It was very similar. Yeah,
yeah, they're like,
it's
why
just
are you
even
so
worse.
tired? It's like, dude, it's like we've been working for so long.
Yeah.
um, but Madrid was good. The food was great. Everyone that was there before was pretty much there last year, and they all like. I saw people
Okay.
improve. They were like, "You talked to me last year, and I want to see what I would have done this year." And they improved a lot, and I was like, "Dude, that's awesome." So, and then in Madrid was really great because they had kind of like another kind of like a robot pencil version of us, but like a Spanish version. They're called Monster Pit, and they had like a great mixer thing, bringing the community together, and that was great. Like it was so much fun, just getting drunk, talking art and life with people. So, had a lot more speakers this year. So, I got to hang out with Evan Mudson. I never met him before, but that guy's like my
Yeah.
favorite guy now.
Yeah. It's a
Hanging
lot
out
of
with
fun.
him and watching him and Alex argue about shit was like probably like my funnest times.
Oh yeah. What were they arguing about?
Just politics, this is stupid shit. Like just like you can just watch them. Just you can just watch Evan talk. He's very infectious personality. Hanging out with Stefan Richard is really good. He's such a smart dude. And then obviously listen to Jama. Jama was only there for the Madrid, but Jama was showing off some of that VR shit, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sold. I get it now. I get why it's tight. And it's funny because Evan was kind of hating on it, but then Jama was like, "Oh, let me show you something." And then Evan's like, "No, I don't think this is gonna catch on." And then he was like doing this like crazy like sketch of a person in VR, and I was
Yeah.
like, "That's actually pretty tight, dude. Like I can see how this would work." Everyone was just like, nah, screw that. And then Jamaro had a great talk. Orion Alberto had a great talk. And then it was nice that we got to bring in some locals. We got to bring in Aji Sanchez. He did a really great talk, kind of coming from Spain and how he got to where he was at.
That's great.
Orion,
we make a big effort for local artists.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
to do the talk. That's great. I'm glad to hear it.
So Orion was like really nervous, but and they kind of weren't sure about Orion. They're like, yo, we haven't seen that much from him. I'm like, trust me, this guy's legit. Like, he'll do a good talk. And I think he ended up having one of the best talks I've ever seen, because he came from Colombia, going through some crazy shit, and then moved to Brazil, going through some crazy shit, doing art, trying to make it, and now he's in Madrid doing some crazy shit. And he kind of showed all the artwork that he did, from like lame jobs to advertising, and how much work he had to put in to get to where he's at now was like insane. So he was kind of just showing like how he got to where he was. And I thought it was probably one of the best talks of the week. And then Jamaro, of course, was fun. Alex actually his first time. Alex Connor's first time kind of demoing.
Oh,
he was a little bit nervous too. But he did a really great job as well. He killed it. Like, everyone, like, he's such a very, very good natural painter. So, and now Alex got hit with the travel bug, because he'd never traveled before. So he's like, shit, I'm going to Toronto. I want to go travel. And he's like, man, what have I been doing? It's like, things make sense here. He's like, the food tastes better. It's healthy. Like, I'm walking more. Like, Jamaro dropped a weight, like, because you're walking so much.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, man, I ate so much food, but like, I don't feel tired. I'm like, yeah, because you walk. He's like, man, like, the metros here are nice. I'm like, yeah, because it's public transportation. It's like, oh, there's healthcare here? It's like, yeah. He's like, oh, people don't have guns? Only the cops do? I'm like, yeah, because they're trained. Like, they're police officers in Spain. Also, you kind of saw they're all like ripped. They're all like fucking assault rifles, but they're all like legitimate cops.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, it's like things are like crazy here. It's like, and people, it's funny. Everyone there was kind of like, man, what's going on over there? Like, that's literally what we heard. Hey man, how's America going? What's going on over there? Like, I hear like you guys are like don't have like schools now. Yeah, it's kind of like not far from the truth. Like, hey, I heard you guys like can't go to the doctor. Like, what's that about? I'm like, you guys don't have that problem? And they're like, nah, man, we just go, bro.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, things make sense for you guys. Live. Don't remind me. So.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of times when I argue with people online about this type of stuff, usually I try to explain to them, it's just like, you have no context because you haven't been to these other countries, right? And I've been to quite a bit of countries, and I've come to the realization that we're all the same, just with different things and different things to associate. Like, but pretty much, like, I remember when we were in Brazil, there was like one of my students, he was like apologizing because there's these really loud people, and I was like, nah, people are loud everywhere. Like, it's not like your country is exclusively loud people. It's like there's just loud people in just general. And the same thing, like, whenever I meet people overseas, it's just they're just people. They just speak different languages. They come from different cultural backgrounds, But overall, we all just want to get along, right? And it's just it's really enlightening. And so, yeah, when you go travel and you see, like, they have like really good public transit, they have good schools, reasonable healthcare. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to get angry when you live in a country where you have enough money, like, to afford. Like, I saw that they can. Oh no, my little baby. Hold on, my baby's over here. The tax cuts that they were going to give to the wealthy on this next healthcare bill would have been enough to give every American, I think it was $18,000 a year.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we could pay everybody. There's a thing called, like, actually I don't remember the name of it, but it's basically like the minimum pay. So even if you don't have a job, you get paid from the government an X amount. And they're like, it's not possible. Where are we going to get the money from? And it's like, and it's like so discouraging.
Pay higher taxes. I mean, I paid higher taxes when I lived in Spain, but at the same time, like, it wasn't that much more. And again,
well, you don't have to pay. Yeah, you don't have to pay for health insurance.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like, that's the point. Like, for instance, this little dude. Oh my god, he keeps getting his little beanie. over his eyeballs. It's all right, little guy. Um, like I I had to pay upwards of $2,000 for the hospital stay, and
Yeah,
I was just like, luckily we
great.
were saving money, you know, and so we didn't have to stress out about like, can we take our baby home, or what are we gonna do if we can't pay? Like, what are they going to do to us if we can't pay this? It's like, it's scary to think that that could happen to somebody, right?
Yeah,
And here's the catch, man. Like, we pay for our health insurance. You know what I mean? That's the part that's really disgusting, is that we actually pay for our insurance. You know, so it's like, I don't get it.
yeah,
Like, I thought this was supposed to, and then my wife was like, "Oh, trust me, we are getting a deal. Like, this is um, like if we didn't have if we didn't have insurance, we would be paying a lot." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "What do you mean we got a deal? Like, we shouldn't even have to be worrying about getting deals on taking our baby home." I was
yeah.
super frustrated.
You can ask Edgar. I think when he first the first thing he did when we lived in Madrid, as soon as he got our medical card, I think he went and got like either some work done, like I
Uh,
think he got like surgery on his nose or like a dentist, whatever. And it was like he
oh,
was like, "Wow,
really?
that's awesome." Yeah, I remember like the first like one of the first things he did, like he was like, "Yeah, I've been wanting to go, but I can't afford it because we're poor ass AI students." And I think it was one of the first things he did, and he did it, and it was like he was done within a week. I'll have to ask him about it. Like, what did he get? Either it was like something for his nose because something like he couldn't breathe, something like that, or
Uh huh.
something for like his teeth, something that was expensive that he couldn't do, and he held off. But then as soon as we got like our medical card, he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing that." But yeah, it's just
That's
funny that
crazy.
the problems that we deal with, and even and every single time, I was talking to people from Sweden, from Norway, from Paris. They're kind of like, yeah, we pay, but like Aji right now, he's about to have a kid
Uh huh.
with Shayla, and he's kind of like, yeah, man, in Sweden, like they give a maternity leave and everything's taken care of. I don't have to worry about anything. He's like, yeah, I pay extra, but he's like, but the quality of life that I have is fine because everything is relatively cheap. I don't have to spend a lot of things. He's like, so I'll pay it if I don't have to worry about it. And same thing goes for my fellow man. I'm like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's some people that kind of argue a lot, for the most part when we're there. But what I like about, in terms of what I miss about being in Europe, is that we're able to argue a lot and still be cool afterwards. I feel like I feel like we argue here, and then, like people want to kill each other and stuff. But I feel like there, like you can have like really heated. Like I remember like Stefan and like Evan and like everyone's kind of having these like political, like philosophical debates, whatever. And it was not getting heated, but it was getting like kind of like it was getting up there. But
Uh
afterwards,
huh.
like it's cool. Like it's like they view it's like it's fun that to like challenge people's ideals, But it's
Yeah.
like it's respect at the end of the day. Where I feel like here sometimes it's like fuck you, and then that's it, which is kind of unfortunate. So there's definitely some things that I miss about it. But mostly I think was like the food. I think the food was nice because I was like, we were eating so unhealthy. They're like, dude, I can't eat this burger. And I'm like, yeah, you can. I'm like, trust me. I'm like, you're gonna eat it, but you're not gonna feel sluggish. And they ate it, and he was like, I don't feel sluggish. And I was like, told you, bro. It was like it's real meat, man. It's amazing. It was like you can run around, do whatever the fuck you want. So it was that was some good times. But overall, like the students were great. Everyone was really, really positive. Like everything was so much fun. So and it was great for me to take Jacqueline because it was like her first time, being out of the country.
Oh, really?
And for a girl that's from Hawaii and the most thing she's ever seen, Toby. I don't know what Toby's doing. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
Close the door. Hey, relax.
No.
For for a girl that just has only from Hawaii, like the biggest thing she's ever seen was probably like the Golden Gate Bridge,
Uh huh.
to then like going to Spain and seeing like these
That's
crazy
cool.
statues,
Yeah,
she was kind of
ancient,
like,
like
yeah,
old
ancient
stuff.
like culture.
Yeah.
She was like, what you know what I mean? She was like in awe. She's like speechless. So that was kind of cool to see, for the first time.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad to hear about it, man. Glad you had a good time.
Yeah,
Next
yeah.
year.
So, well, next year for me, I mean, getting married, but I think 2019 will be one that I'll want to go to. But I mean, next year though, they're already kind of planning it. I mean, they want you to come back. They want everything. It's like it's getting bigger and bigger next year. So it's like, or more people are getting into it. So Like they even had Wacom come out and stuff. Like, it was
Oh
crazy.
wow, nice.
Yeah, Wacom came out this year, and like it was definitely very very legit workshop. And again, they
Tomorrow,
treat everyone so well. So it's ironic, you know, like our students for What Pencil are the ones that are creating these events, and like they're killing it, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
even the lineup for Toronto for Edge Control coming up, like that's gonna be amazing. And then Roberto from Italy, he's like, "Yo, I'm really trying to get the Italy thing worked out. Like, I want to do it, dude, do it." So it's like,
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
Well, it's good. Well, let's start taking some questions, and then I'm gonna get going.
yeah. All right.
Let's lightning around these
We
actually.
got one. We got one from
Meaning,
Kevin.
just before you get started, a lightning round meaning that I'm just gonna go through these really quickly, and then I'm gonna move on. And you gotta watch this little baby, and then cook some dinner for me and the oldest one.
Faux show. Okay, so
I'll
we got
show you
one
guys the
from
baby after the stream too. He's still awake. He's chilling. He's just
bring the
watching me.
baby on camera. All right, we got one from Kevin Arias. Hopefully, right. Anthony, are you coming back to Academy of Art soon?
Oh yeah, they have me. I don't know who's in charge of that anymore. Like, are you still over there? Can't.
Yeah, I'm still there. So I guess that's my job to go figure that out. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
just
we're
talk to
gonna do.
whoever, and I'm always down to go and talk. It's not a big deal. It's just people
Yeah,
need to ask me.
yeah, that'd probably be they're on summer vacation right now. So I guess so. I'll talk to Michael about that. Maybe have a you and Danny come up again. Maybe make it an extra little day. You know, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
bring out Jamaro. That could be cool.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Bring
Actually,
out the
yeah,
crew.
I'll totally get that planned out. We'll figure that out. Let's see here. Don't nothing from Twitch, ironically, unless I'm not seeing that correctly. So let me see. Any chance to draw the baby? That was one. That's
No, not
funny.
for now.
Draw a baby.
I don't even know what he looks like yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. He's like a newbie, so
Okay.
his physical look is going to be different as he gets older.
Okay.
I think
So
right around 6 months is when they start looking like what they're going to look like. You know, the small
uh,
version of themselves, and then as they get older, they still retain that look somewhat.
Uh, for sure. Okay, here we go. Marco wrote a bit longer painting versus exploration. So you can plan what you're going to do step by step, like China digital painting, or can you explore from chaos, lines, color, silhouette? I've always worked better when I just explore, but I don't feel like I have a lot of control. What do you think I should focus on?
Rapid iteration in terms of understanding your tools and your process. I'm starting to discover that this is true for most things. Meaning that, like, if you just want to learn something really well, rapid iteration as a learning tool is huge. And if you're having a hard time, like, drawing from imagination, then you need to draw from an imagination a lot more. And you have to also give fuel to the fire, meaning you have to know what things look like. Kind of like what Kalen was saying, like, you know, when they were in Spain, like his fiance has never seen a lot of these things, so it would have been harder for someone like her to, let's say, imagine something interesting, right? That came from that kind of architecture. But now it wouldn't be too difficult for her, like, because she has that now, like in her visual library, and it's not only there, it's there in a big way. It's in there in like a um, in a meaningful way. There's a lot of context wrapped around it, and so what you should do is do that a lot, like which is not just travel, but just like experience things often.
Yeah, of course, of course. Someone said, "Congrats on the baby."
Thank you.
Someone said, "You're making an animation." Obviously, so in Photoshop, get it. Um, let's see. One person said, "Hey, AJ and Kayla. Oh, what's up? I was blessed to have you taken a class with both of you. I'm thinking about taking another mentorship, but just wanted to say hi and best wishes. What's up,
Thanks.
Ron? Thank you much. Thank you very, very, very much.
Yeah.
We got I think maybe two more questions here. One is from Courtney.
What's
Says
up, Courtney?
Anthony. Early on in your career, you stated that you were not very good at art, but kept
I was
practicing.
not.
What? This is very true because I was there. I saw it. It's terrible. It's terrible anime. I'm just kidding. What kept you motivated to keep pushing? Thanks, and can't wait to take your class.
Yeah, I. Well, if you're taking my class, I'm gonna talk more about it too in the class, so you'll have more in-depth answer to this. But basically, um, what I tell people these days is like what motivated me then let's just answer the question right away. Like, what motivated me then was just to have a job, right? Just like to get a
Mm-hmm.
career. And then when that started happening, I started changing my motivations. But I discovered that what drove me wasn't so much motivation, because the more I took a look at myself, and tried to see kind of what made me stand up above the crowd, perhaps. I just
Mm-hmm.
try to pay attention to that, so that way I can kind of, pass it on to others. And what I discovered was it wasn't that I was motivated all the time. It was that I knew that I had to do a lot of work to get to
Mm-hmm.
where I needed to be. And I've now kind of quantified what this means. And what I usually tell people these days is motivation and inspiration are very fickle, meaning that like for instance like this trip, right, that you guys just went on to, it's
Mm-hmm.
super motivating, it's super inspiring, but you can't have that trip every day, you know. And
Very
and even if you did, that would then start to take the steam out of what the trip is in general, right? It starts
true.
becoming the norm. And so what you need to do is to not worry on motivation and inspiration. You have to worry yourself on basically patience and resilience. Because what I'm trying to get at is that there's days where I'm not motivated, but I get
Mm-hmm.
to work anyway. And so, for instance, I'm building a game. My time is somewhat limited, and so what I've done is I spend 2 to 3 hours every day learning something new about what I'm trying to do, and then I just do it. You know,
Yeah.
and it's actually not that challenging to take on larger tasks. So I've been learning code and all that crazy stuff, and I'm getting really good at it now. And I feel pretty confident that I can make anything on the web.
Hey,
Uh,
Bomber, can you mute?
oh,
Yeah,
what
I would
the?
even say, hey, what's up, Mike?
Someone
I would
sounded like
even
a
So,
robot
say
too.
add to that.
oh, am I a robot?
No, someone else did.
Yeah,
Okay.
someone came in, but
Hello.
Hey, Bomber.
yeah, I would say also too
What's
community.
going on,
Community can
Mike?
help too with that. When we were going to school, what helped me out a little bit too was being around you guys like Nino and Edgar and them. So
Uh-huh.
whenever you guys did something, it just kind of fueled me as well. Like, oh, I got really inspired. So community can kind of help too. Um, well, for those days that you're kind of like, I don't want to do anything, but then you kind of have those friends that are kind of always motivated. So that can definitely help out. So. Okay, next question here is let's see, Anthony, AJ, what's the best Steven Seagal?
Oh, you cut out, Kalen. Say that
What's
again.
the best Steven Seagal movie that you've seen?
Under Siege. Next question.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good choice. Good choice. Good choice. Let's see here. That's why you should keep taking a photo. No, okay. Someone said this was interesting. It's by Mav 3D.
What's up, Math
It's the
3D?
word discipline with the greater than arrow sign, and then motivation. So he says discipline is better than motivation. So it's probably, I guess, not like a question, but more so
Yeah,
a
I think
comment.
that's a good one. That's a great comment. Um, yeah, I think the idea around discipline is to just do something continuously, right? So
Mhm.
I'll take it. I like that word. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I think there's one issue with that word.
What's
Well,
up?
Because like,
what's the issue?
I wanted to comment on that. Because like discipline to me, and I don't know if you guys agree or not, but it comes off as like a negative. Because like you're disciplined to do this thing that you're like, I don't want to do this thing. So I think like the word that you use, resilience, is a better word for that. Because it kind of gets across the same idea. It's like you're disciplined, you keep on at what you're doing, but I think
Sure.
it implies more that you're not like hating it like every moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of on the
It's like the
fence.
subtle.
Well, let me explain, because discipline is what it is. It's like kind of the definition of having resilience and patience. Some terms I'll just kind of pass over, but like I like what you're saying though. I kind of like your assertion. Sorry, I'm like watching my baby, so if I go in and out of the
All good, dude.
webcam. Um, Basically, what I'm trying to get at is that yeah, anything that makes it seem negative, I agree. You should try to avoid. But like the actual definition of discipline, like it
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily. It's not negative. Uh, it's just like having that pattern, that routine, and
Right,
staying
right.
to it. You know, and that could be applied to positive reinforcements, right? So, but I think you're right that when people think of discipline, like you discipline your children or you discipline your soldiers, it's like punishing them or something like that, right? So I guess you're right. So resilience, there's none of that association to it, right? So it's kind of the same thing with like me being a vegan. Like I'm a vegan, but I don't like necessarily saying that I am a vegan, not because I don't believe in the cause or whatever. It's just like there's this really large political assertion to it, right? That people will just immediately assume, and so I just tell people I just eat a lot of plants, and
Yeah.
and I was trying to say I'm an herbivore too, but I feel like that's a little pretentious. But anyway, yeah, discipline's good. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. We should take it back. We should take
I
it
think
back.
it's just it's like a subtle back of your mind.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I think
thing.
you're right. Here's another
That's all.
thing that I tell people. Like I had one of my students. He was saying, I told him the homework he had, and then he was like, "Okay, I'll try my best." And I said, "It's not about trying your best either. Like I don't want you to just try your best. Like I'd rather you just to stay consistent than you doing your best, right?"
Yeah.
And meaning like if your best means you have to spend 8 hours a day, or sleepless nights, and then after that you get burned out, I'd prefer you just doing 2 or 3 hours of just working on it than working on doing leisure stuff, going out playing video games or hanging out with friends, and then but the next day you're doing 3 hours of work again, you're sticking
Yeah,
to it.
back at it.
Yeah, versus just like really hardcore sprint and then like a very very long cool down, right?
I can get
And
behind that.
so I'm like, best implies that you're really really trying, and I'm saying no, I don't think it's about really really trying either. I think it's just staying consistent, and then add a little bit on top of that as you get more and more good at like staying consistent, and you'll be surprised how much you can accomplish by just a little bit of learning a day, And like I said, I'm like learning how to make like a whole game by myself, like from start to finish. Like even this right here, I'm like learning how to hand animate because I was thinking, what can I do that would be really cool that only I, Anthony Jones, could make? The Anthony Jones video game. And I was like, hand painting and animating all of my kind of weird monsters that I do, right? No one else could do that. Like my game could be total garbage in terms of gameplay, right? But if it was just like a platformer or side scroller where there's like weird character walking around, yeah, then I could do that. I could totally do that. And I looked into game engines all day today. Not game engines, animation tools. There's Spine, which is cool. And I was like, it costs some money, and I have a bad habit of just like dropping a
Throwing
buck on
money.
something and without even really using it ever again. So I was like, no. Let me
I got that same habit, too.
yeah, I was like, let me just take a minute. And ever since I stopped this bad habit, I've been able to save money and actually take care of previous responsibilities. And so,
Nice.
but then had a baby, and it cost me a lot of money. But I'm getting back to it. My point, though, is that this is like you guys are seeing an example of me trying to learn something new. And look, I'm not trying to make this the best animation ever because I know I'm not going to be the best at it. It's going to take some time. Like I can see there's some jittering with the feet. I need more solid foot placement on this bad boy. But like him doing the jig, and there's something called like when you're shrinking your animation, there's like a little bit of shrinkage on his torso, I think in the middle frames. But it's fine. Like I'm learning how to do it. I could totally do this. I think I could totally pull this off. I think I could do like a fully animated thing. Can you see my wife?
Hey AJ, can I ask you a question real quick?
I'm gonna stop streaming, guys, pretty soon. I have to cook dinner. What was it? What was the question?
Thinking through the questions.
I was wondering, like, how important do you think rooting your work in traditional is versus jumping right into digital?
That's a good question, and I always tell people I learned traditional strategies digitally because it's cheaper. rapid iteration. Because here's a good way of thinking about it. And I thought about it yesterday. I was watching the movie with my kids, and I was just like, it just hit me. I was like, if you were to try to learn something by, let's say it was like cooking a pizza, right? And what you were doing to learn how to cook a pizza was to cook the pizza completely every single time, right?
Right.
Then, that takes a lot of time, but eventually you'll learn. Or maybe you can only cook a slice of the pizza, right? Which will take less time. And to see if you can get that to be good, right? And then once you can get that to be good, then you should, in theory, be able to do the rest of the pizza. Or at least the hurdles to learn the rest of the pizza will be much smaller, much more minor. And that's how I've been approaching a lot of the things that I've learned. For instance, if I wanted to learn a character design, which is the pizza, right?
Right.
Or in this case, the pizza shop and owning a pizza business and selling pizza, right? It's like a much larger thing. The first thing,
like a whole picture.
The first thing is, can I just make plain dough, like good? Can I just make bread? The bread itself tastes good, And so the same thing would be a character. I was like, can I just like paint a finger, reasonably well, or a feature of the character? I can. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing. Can I paint more features connected to one another? Okay, can I now understand the underlining features like the anatomy and forms? And I just move on until eventually I'm where I'm at right now. Where now I'm
bigger and bigger until you get the full pizza.
Where I'm at right now, I'm like, the painting part's not a big deal with me. The problem is, can I paint in succession? Right? I'm not going to do this whole weird animated film. I'm not going to paint a character with multiple limbs like I normally would. I'm just painting a normal guy with just like a couple features that will challenge me in the right way, And the next step would be to go further once I've mastered this one, or at least understand the hurdles of this one and overcome them. And so I did the same thing. Like, so traditionally, that's what I did. Like, I digitally painted traditionally and learned traditional strengths and strategies, but just in a digital world. And the rapid iteration came from the fact that I didn't have to buy paints, set up an easel, do all that nonsense, right? I just went in and just tried it. Didn't work. Like, Control N, let's try again, And so that's what I think digital does really well. It helps you rapidly iterate and try stuff out. And so that would be my advice to you is, yes, of course, learn traditional, but use digital tools to do it.
Okay, let's lightning round this so you can get out, right?
All right, I'm gonna just take 3 questions, and then no matter what, The rest of you guys, sorry, I'm on a little bit more strict schedule because I got babies now, but I am trying to try to stream more often.
From Ryan Berry is: do you ever create characters inspired by a song, or has music ever inspired your art?
Nope.
All right, that's a no.
I'm not that type of artist.
Not the type of artist. Okay, let's see. Last one was let's see. Question. Still struggling with values. Do you think starting with local color for each material, then add shadow? Any advice is appreciated. The studying you.
Kind of like what I was answering with Wen, right? Just start small. Just don't go for the whole shebang. Ask yourself, can you even paint a cube with local values? Right? Just like paint a sphere. Box. Yeah. Can you just paint like a regular thing? If you have a hard time doing that, that should answer a lot of your questions to why it's so difficult to do the others.
All right. And let's see. Have you tried 3D Coat? What do you think about it?
Duh. In fact, I've kind of like I haven't reformatted this computer, but I reformatted my laptop because it was starting to get chuggy. Because I had this problem where I download a crap load of software and try it, and I forget that I downloaded it, and it just like have just tons of things. So I'm trying to get back to a simpler life and simpler tools, and so that way I can be more efficient. And so this weekend I'm going to reformat this computer and just completely wipe it, and then just start anew. All my stuff's on Dropbox, so there's really nothing here. I just need to install like the 5 or 6 softwares that I use consistently, and then just move on and move on my life. Stay more efficient, be more proficient and effective with the tools I already have. And then any new tool that comes in, if it doesn't really add a lot more to my workflow, then there's no need to even use it. And so 3D Coat has done that, where it's replaced a lot of 3D tools that I've used, including ZBrush.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I don't think I
Yeah.
need ZBrush. I'm just gonna get
I
rid of
gotta,
it.
all right.
I gotta
Another
teach
question
you how
is,
to
hey,
image your
guys,
computer.
how can I use art to get laid?
Wait.
You ever go to any workshops like Imaginism or Talent Tree Expos?
Didn't we have that question last time?
I don't know.
don't
But what were you gonna say, Wen? You're gonna say something?
I said I need to teach you how to image your computer.
Oh, okay.
All
All right, guys.
think
Well, I'm
that's,
gonna bounce out now.
I think that was it.
All right.
Yeah, so,
I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna watch the kiddos. I gotta
Thank
feed
you.
my other big baby. And then I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna try to stream as often as I can. Probably at a better time where it's not dinner, and I have to put the kids to bed. It was bad timing on my part.
we'll
But,
figure it out.
I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out. So, the first people to go are going to be the Facebook peeps. Laters, y'all.
Laters.
And
Peace
then
out.
the next
Hey,
people to
Kayla.
go is the Twitch fools. Later.
Kayla, can I ask you a couple questions?
And then the next person.
Uh,
Quiet, Wen. I was trying to say goodbye to everybody.